Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. As you all know, we have now a PGurus Hindi channel that is in full flow. We just wanted to bring your attention to that. If you have not already subscribed to our PGurus Hindi channel, consider doing so. Today I have with me Sree RVS Mani, and the longer we look at what is happening and the more questions we are getting. So Sree RVS Mani has some very new unexplored angles to this parliamentary security breach. And let's welcome him and let's listen to him and see what he has to say. Namaskar, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you very much for this inviting me to this channel. Thank you.
So, Mr. Mani, you had tweeted something yesterday, and this was very common sense. You know, you're showing what is happening from various cameras inside the Lok Sabha. And you had some very astute observations. And today we are also seeing that 𝗣𝗬𝗄𝗏 app has a 𝗣𝙗𝙬𝙤 connection. And 𝗣𝗬𝗄𝗏 app is being used for match betting. So betting, then you have this guy putting the money in. Why would the guy put money in unless he wants to make money off of the 𝗣𝗬𝗄𝗏 app? Simple si baat hai, right? So there is a lot of stuff that we just say, is it looking, is it possible? And then it turns out to be true. But this is all your credit, RVSG. You have spent a wealth of time in the Ministry of Home Affairs and other departments in the government. So you have this ability to be able to look at the dots and get the big picture. I'm hoping that you can do the same here. In your opinion, what do you think happened?
See, basically, I'll put it like this. For almost 3 to 4 months, our Pannu from USA, the Khalistani, has been barking about trying to attack the parliament on 13th of December. 13th of December is a very, very vital day. It is the day 22 years back when the parliament was attacked. I was inside the parliament at that moment. And he had been barking like this, he had been giving it threats and all. And as a sequel to that, say, the government, whatever may be the foolishness of the threat, the government intelligence agencies do not take it lightly. They escalate the security, they escalate the entire paraphernalia, security paraphernalia, and therefore there was a point to be proved by doing something much low key, so that to show that look, Pannu is on. That is chapter one. That's equation number one. Number two people have been visiting the Pratap Sinha's house, endearing one person from his own constituency, using his father's contact, trying to locate and trying to befriend the friends over the past 2 months. So naturally, basically you have to see the position of any MP for that matter. In fact, the MPs from Bihar and UP, I sympathize with them. I have worked in the parliament. I know their situation. That some people, even when somebody comes from the constituency, they ask for a return ticket also. Otherwise, they will go and malign this fellow that MP साहब कुछ नहीं काम करते, इसको वोट मत देना. So that is the position. So we have a expectation. The normal constituents have an expectation from their MP, and by virtue of that only this visitor pass has been enabled. The reason for that is, see, basically MP is in the representative capacity, and he would like to showcase to his constituents, anybody if he wants, they deserve, to allow him to visit and see the parliament session for 1 hour. Basically, that is the logic about it. And this fellow got a parliament pass for himself and one of his friends whomsoever had entered. So there is no untoward or ulterior motives in a member of parliament issuing a recommendation letter for visitors pass, as being alleged now by the. See, they are now playing, some groups are playing, if you see, holier than thou approach. That look, he gave it, so he should be. So that is basically a question of diverting the issue. Third, Pannu has his roots in Amritsar. Doaba region ending up to Amritsar, that is the area where Pannu has his roots, basic roots. I have already told that in the early 70s, one basic question we refused to ask at that time is, in 1971, the Sikhs were willing to die for the country. In 6 years, what changed that they were turning their guns toward the country? There must have been an engineering factor, element. And that was, of course, I don't want to say the then government of the day had in collusion with Zulfikar Ali Bhutto had tried to reduce the representation of Sikhs in the Indian army. This is a fact I have stated in several times. By introducing migration and militancy, militants pursued the militancy for the first generation. Migrants are now pursuing, sustaining the militancy in the second and third generation of the militancy. So this is also a fact, and the Doaba region and Amritsar and Gurdaspur area were the hotbed of that, especially Taran, Amritsar and all. And now the fourth point I am coming to, of all the people, who is coming and catching the person, the member of parliament for Amritsar. There were 400 plus members present in the house. Was the layout so as that the opposition MP simply got, was he looking at the chair or was he looking at the visitors gallery? Was he waiting? I do not know. I don't impute any motives to anybody. But these are all very legitimate points which need to be joined. I respect the honorable member of parliament. I respect the people of Amritsar. So as a sequel to that, the representative is a very highly respectable member of parliament. But is it a design, or is it a coincidence, or is it a providence that the person who is trying to fulfill the Pannu's threat in a very small token way lands up in the lap of the Amritsar MP himself? That's a very legitimate question. Everybody should ask, anybody should ask, and everybody should ask. As nationalists, as true Rashtra Bhakts, everybody should ask this question, that how is it that he simply landed in the lap of him and he started catching him and doing all that. And number 4 is the level of security. You cannot take such canisters and all easily. Even a borrowing tube is very difficult to be carried inside. I believe that it is not the visitor who has carried it, somebody has carried it in advance. Members of parliament are generally not exactly allowed to or put through the same level of security frisking as any visitor, even the official of the parliament. I have worked in the parliament, I know the situation. Another very important point I want to make is, should a visitor enter the precincts of the house when the house is in session? How can anybody preclude that he was not an official of the parliament entering it? The verification of that shall be done by the watch and ward staff or the marshals present there. If somebody has authorizedly or unauthorizedly entered the precincts of the house, there is a procedure. You just don't go and bash him up. We do not know whether he could have been on duty. What Mr. Gurjeet Singh did was a fantastic thing, that he beat up an imposter, but there is a procedure for even identifying an imposter and beating him up. So it is not that per se you enter, somebody enters your house and you start beating him up because he is not known to or he is unauthorized. So these are all factors. I'm not condemning anything. These are all facts in front of you, and now you go to the background of the people who are involved in it. Somebody is a TMC Karyakarta, somebody who was protesting outside and was arrested. Is an Andolan Jeevi. She had protested in the farmers protest. She had been a part of the restless protest, and for all the credit she is claiming that she is qualified so much, MPhil, MEd, MPhil, CIT, DIT, and qualified this examination. My basic, very fundamental question is, I have also been lived in India. I have been working I worked for almost 39, 40 years in government of India, and prior to entering the government, I had worked in certain other sectors also. It is not so parsed that you are so qualified and you don't get an opportunity, and especially she is supposed to be claiming a OBC category beneficiary. Even general category beneficiary with this level of and having qualified teachers eligibility test, would have certainly got a teacher job on a government scale easily within 7 years of that. The 7 waiting period is not that. Up to 42, what was she doing? And up to 32, why was she not agitated? Because that is the right period when you get frustrated. At the age of 32, when you don't get a job with all your credentials, that is the peak level of frustration. After that, it turns down and you have been working in a political party associating with them. So how is it that this lady suddenly wakes up and says, रोजगार ही नहीं है, बेरोजगार हुआ, ये हुआ, देश की लड़ाई चल रही है, and all that. And some fellow says, I got inspiration from Bhagat Singh. Somebody says something else. So these are all disapparative tendencies. This needs to be really connected together. I am sure Special Cell Delhi Police is my favorite branch of the Delhi Police, and they do their job very well. I personally had experiences with him. I have interacted with him a lot. Earlier, there used to be a very good team of professionals. I am sure that legacy is continuing. And they have cracked a lot of sleeper cells. They have done a lot of things. So I am sure these things will come out in the probe of the special cell, especially even the Batla house, they only cracked it. Later on, there was a politics played on it. They have cracked a lot of fake currency notes in Delhi, rackets, Taslim Dar and all that. So a lot of things they have done. Even the first conviction, which was based for us to be getting entitled to FATF membership, Delhi Police Special Cell handled it. So I remember that. So why I am saying is, these things will come out. But who is it the case of kettle calling the pot black? Are the conspirators the very one who are more noisy than that? Because all the dots, if you connect, all the dots, I have brought out so many dots. I am not making any conclusions at all. But if you connect all the dots, it appears that the conspirators are making more noise and putting the government in defensive. This is not a very good sign for the country. The larger, my concern is, I am not supporting any political party. I hate political parties. I condemn them. All political parties, I do not like them. But the question is, here is a question of national pride, national interest, national prestige involved. And if such small politics is paid, is it not right? Is it right or is it not? We already have, because see the timing of it, 13th December, you already have a twice convicted Saqib Nachan, again caught because of judicial lackadaisical aptitude in the previous cases. The law was weak, no doubt. The state had also put in the weekend prosecution, although he would not have been convicted in the second case had he not been filed that affidavit saying that 𝗣𝗚𝘅 Pota Tribunal, that is Saqib Nachan case. My affidavit is there, a part of record in the Bombay High Court. So what are we heading to? Are we going towards the banana republic? No, this is not acceptable to us. See, national pride, national esteem, national security, and national icons, let us keep it sacrosanct. Above any politics, above any petty politics, above any communalism, above any ethnic conflicts, above any economic issues. If you don't get a job, there are several ways to show your protest. Not going and throwing some acid or some gas in the parliament premises. Not acceptable. And I don't think it looks only a very superficial thing that not getting a job was the reason. Nobody who doesn't get a job will dare to go into the parliament house and do it. There are several ways to keep himself occupied, and he would have committed suicide rather than doing this. So that means this was very well planned, very well funded to embrace the government of India, to embrace the nation on a very, very inauspicious day for the nation, that is the 13th December 13 December. On 2001, 13 December, we had a first attack on the parliament. So these are all, it's a design. And the call comes from USA. a meaningless separatist makes a call, and the entire route is then laid out. Not only that, one of the conspirators had done a recce of the parliament, new parliament. Old parliament, they would not have dared to jump from the visitors gallery 25 feet. He would have broken his spine and back and everything. I have visited the old parliament only. New parliament, I have not a habit because it is a 1 year old. So, was the new parliament that somebody must have done a recce of that. I would have assessed the amount of this thing required and how he can jump and which way he could have jumped, and to ensure that he doesn't jump into the chair. Because chairs up to the backbenches, as they call it, the Tory backbenches, we also have backbenches. There also chairs are laid out. And not only that, a non-member cannot enter the session house excepting the officials on duty, whether it is the reporters or whether it is the verbatim presenters or whether it is the table office staff, including Secretary General, Joint Secretary table, and later on table office staff. Nobody is permitted to visit. How did this all happen is a very, very $1 million question. If we join the dots, I'm sure Special Cell will come out with some interesting revelations in the investigation. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Mr. Mani. And see, some of the things that you ask are very valid questions, sir. First of all, you said that the canisters could not have been smuggled in shoes. I completely agree with your viewpoint. I was telling in another show yesterday that even a small pebble of 1 centimeter diameter, you put it in your shoes and try to walk. See how discomforting it is. Not only that, you will just sit down after taking a few steps. If it goes and hits any bone, the pain is unbearable. Even the smallest canister has to be this big.
But the canister was a little bigger than that. It would not have fitted into a shoe.
Correct.
It would not have fitted into a shoe.
So someone is spilling a tale. They can figure this out by looking at the CCTV footage. And not only that, the new parliament, you have to walk a long way from the place where you get dropped off. So it's not like the old parliament where you could go straight to the doorstep.
No, after 2001 attack, even that also you have to walk a little bit.
I see.
Quite a distance. And the visitors have to go through gate number 4 only, gate number 2 only. There was no other way out. Gate number 3 is Speaker's Gate. Gate number 2 only they were allowed. So there were certain restrictions after the 2001 attack. The Lok Sabha Committee on Security was formed under the Speaker. Earlier, that security was not the priority item. But after 2001 Parliament, they did do a lot of things. And a lot of reinforcement had happened. And everything. And Lok Sabha security is being upgraded every year or they are revisiting it. It is not that they simply put in a SOP and then forgot about it. It is recalibrated every year or maybe periodically, periodically on proper frequencies. Right.
So it points to someone knowing the inner workings of the system. So they know where the loopholes are.
No official can carry even a canister, I can say for sure. So it must be a political, although there are certain loopholes in the system in the sense that a joint secretary going on official work to Lok Sabha during a question hour or a committee meeting would be asked to keep his mobile phone out unless and until he has a special permission or something like that. But a political broker will be found using 3 phones. These are all common, right? This is something which I can confess. So it could have gone through even through a broker. I don't know how he manages. So that is irrespective of the government. The brokers are very much present there. Political broker, I don't know what to call them. Some people it will be surprising to find them. I'm sure that fresh SOPs will be issued, and these brokers' access to Parliament House will also be restricted, because there are many members of Parliament are you can be found, and many brokers otherwise also. I don't know what they have spent their lifetime in the old Parliament. I have seen it, but I don't think new Parliament they would be allowed to access so easily. The vehicles have RFID system. Everything is high tech. In spite of that, if this has happened, means some member of parliament possibly, or a person walking with the member of parliament, somebody must have facilitated its entry into the house. Once you get into the house, before getting into the gallery, even the canister can be handed over the toilet. So that is not an issue. So something has happened. Let us see how the special cell, because canister being carried in by a visitor is absolutely impossible. The amount of frisking and the amount of security drill which takes place.
Thank you so much, sir. And also funny that the color of the spray was yellow.
I don't know what is the significance of that. So, but
Khalistani
basically,
black color, sir.
Khalistani flag. Okay, right. So that is even more a very important point. But whatever it is extremely sad that national prestige has been compromised. It is, see, people who are trying to play politics over it. I believe that they are the conspirators because of the joining of the dots. But I don't impute any motives to anybody. I am sure all of us are honorable members of the Indian Parliament, and they would acquit themselves as honorable members of Indian Parliament. That is what is my honorable, humble expectation.
Mr. Mani, sir, there was a time when Ecuador used to always vote for Khalistan, with Khalistan in UN.
Right.
Then they found out that Ecuador needed a lot of agricultural lands. So a lot of people from Punjab went there to farm their lands. The quid pro quo was that whenever this issue came up, that Ecuador would vote with what they tell them to do. So now some country like Ecuador might issue a travel advisory against India, saying that if the parliament has been breached, there is no security. So there's a travel advisory. Just watch, guys.
Possible. See, basically today's Canada situation also, most of the Sikhs are farming the farmland, barren lands of Canada, which nobody would otherwise go. So that is also one of the major force multiplier for the Sikh support, Canadian support to Sikhs. Otherwise, population-wise, they may be on par. This is where I say, when I said that migrants are sustaining the second generation or third generation Khalistani movement, this is where has happened, because originally the country, the first generation of militants were sustained for 20 years, and by that time, the migrants who went in large numbers in 70s as a sequel to unstated drive by the Congress to placate the Pakistani, this thing of reducing the Sikhs from security forces, this is what has happened.
Sir, even today, the percentage of Sikhs in Canada is only 2.1%. It's not a big number.
Right, but they are very, very visible, and they are able to capture the political eyes.
Now, see, what happens is the general milieu, the general population will decide once for all that these are people not desirable to get elected. And this will start driving the thing away. I think their best days are over. That's how I feel. Anyway, I could be proved wrong. Let's wait and see what happens. And do we have any questions? I did not see any. One question. Venkatraman Iyer wants to know, the parliament intrusion has given Dot Alliance fodder to make ruckus and disrupt parliament and attack BJP and Modi Shah combined and make security an election issue. Your views, sir?
That is what I have said. See, if you join the dots, I said the people who are making ruckus could possibly be the designers of the entire thing. I am not alluding to anybody. I am not alleging anything. Dot Alliance or Y Alliance or X Alliance, the way things are panning out about the volunteers of the security breaches, the foot soldiers are all belonging to the same Dot Alliance which you are talking about. So was it a design by the Dot Alliance just to embarrass the government? That is the basic question everybody should be asking. Thank you, Mr. Venkatraman.
Next one, please. And that's all that we have for today. Mani sir, thank you so much for taking time out from your busy morning to come online in such a short notice. Viewers, please like, share, and Please, thank you, sir. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Like we said, when we first come out with the theory, people will, kind of ridicule us, call us conspiracy theorists. But slowly but steadily, the truth starts coming out. But then nobody gives us, shabash saying that, oh, you guys predicted it first. But that's okay. We are here. We are a thermometer which has an early detection system. That's what it is.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
very
much, sir. Namaskar.